right now.
At least the timing is perfect.
Yeah, right.
Juror.
Good late afternoon. The reason I've asked you to come out is I'm just going to ask you a question. Should be a relatively simple question, but sometimes I get more information than I need. So before I ask the question, I'm going to ask you about deliberations. I don't want to know anything about the deliberations themselves. I don't want to know what's being discussed. I don't want to know anything about any votes or anything else that's taken place. All I'd like to know from you at this particular time is whether you believe, as the foreperson, that a verdict is imminent.
We are in the process of working to reach a verdict.
Well, let me ask this differently. I'm thinking about breaking for the evening, and I'm willing to go further into the evening if you believe that would be that would assist the panel in reaching a verdict. If not, then we'll go ahead and break for the day. That's really where we are.
At this moment, I think breaking for the day would be the best option.
Okay. All right.
For the jury panel.
All right. Thank you. If you could just go ahead and rejoin the rest of the panel.
Thank you.
All right, for juror. Please be seated.
Based on that, it sounds like we probably need to go ahead and break them for the evening. What I'll do is I'll call for the panel. We'll break. As I indicated, we'll get them back in at 8:30. I normally don't bring the panel back in, but I think in this case, under these circumstances, I'll bring them back in, make sure all of them are together, that we haven't lost anybody, and make sure they understand that they cannot begin their deliberations until they are all together in the jury deliberation room tomorrow morning after we speak to them.
Bringing alternates in also.
Yes. Okay. Let's hold the sheriff off then. I think he was getting the alternates. Apparently they wish to continue. Okay. We are in recess then. If I keep everybody on 10-minute call, I don't know how long I'll let them continue, but I'll give them a little bit of time and see where this takes us. Okay. We're in recess.
Okay, so we just heard from the the judge there in Brunswick, Georgia, as we were continuing to follow the Ahmaud Arbery trial. The jury went into deliberations today for the first day after the end of the closing arguments by the defense. The closing arguments started yesterday, so we heard from the judge there kind of going back and forth about whether or not to dismiss the jury for the day. I believe, so we now are in recess. It seems like they do want to continue going a little bit longer tonight. That's from what I gathered. And so we're going to be continuing to follow that story as well because it is one of the most high-profile trials going on nationwide right now. So we'll have hopefully a live report from Brunswick, Georgia a little bit later tonight, kind of recapping what happened, the jury deliberating in their first day today. In the meantime, let's get back into some of this politics news. We have a live look out of the White House at the moment where the President and the First Lady are heading to Nantucket for the Thanksgiving holiday. They were serving families today Thanksgiving dinner in the D.C. area, joined by the Vice President and the Second Gentleman as well. But as you know, the Build Back Better Act now goes off to the Senate, passed in the House just last week. Fox 32 in Chicago spoke with a member of Congress about what this means once it gets to the Senate.
boost this past week when the House gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah, and now it moves to the Senate, where the $1.9 trillion plan may meet resistance among moderate Democrats. Here to weigh in a little bit more on what's in that package is Representative Marie Newman. Hey, good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
All right, first of all, we know that there's a lot packed into this bill, but we want to talk about Chicago, first of all. We understand that, in particular, Scott and I are interested in this one. What could be the changes for, let's start with the Eisenhower and then the CTA?
Sure. Well, the good news here in Chicago, we're going to see tangible results right away. Governor Pritzker has already started several large projects, of which this federal package, $17 billion of which is coming to Illinois, will support some of those projects. So right away, you're going to see tangible results with projects that are affecting viaducts and roads and bridges and getting lead out of pipes for kids, both good for the environment and obviously good for our kids. So we're excited to get all this moving right away.
You know, not all the news on the Build Back Better is good. We know that you're facing some headwinds, particularly on family leave. You know, when my mom had terminal cancer, I had to take unpaid leave, and that was years ago. And I remember speaking to the social worker saying, it's not always going to be this way. Eventually, we're going to get it right, like every other country does it in the world, pretty much. Why is it we don't have paid family leave here in America?
Right now, that's perplexing me. It always has perplexed me. Our friends across the aisle, the Republicans, don't seem to want it. Every other industrial nation has it. It is critical that we have it, and it's actually better for businesses. You look at any economist study, and it demonstrates when you have paid leave and family leave for folks that they are that retention goes up, and that the cost of recidivism of your folks going out the door really goes down.
You know, it passed out of the House. It is expected to be on shaky ground going into the Senate. A lot of eyes are on what West Virginia Senator Manchin is going to do. How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, here's the good news. In West Virginia, he gets kudos every single time he talks about what this package is going to do. In its aggregate, it will ease inflation. It will lower prices. It will cut taxes through their child tax credit and allowing the SALT cap to be alleviated so that, in fact, people will have more working capital and lower taxes. It also creates jobs, jobs, jobs. So I think he's gotten the message from West Virginia and the entire country now that this is an amazing package that is going to be transformative in our nation.
All right. Well, I was watching the White House lawn signing ceremony, and I saw you there, Congresswoman, and you had an ear-to-ear grin. It's nice to get a victory once in a while. I know it's been tough going in Washington of late, but thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
You too.
All right, Fox 32 in Chicago there. We thank for that interview with Congresswoman Madeline Dean there, the Democrat from Illinois, talking about the Build Back Better Act. Just want to put up this live look of the White House at the moment, or excuse me, the U.S. Capitol building, and the House and the Senate are not in this week, but we'll still be monitoring all the developments. Remember, it's going to be a very busy December for lawmakers. They have to pass a government funding bill by December the 3rd. They have to decide what they want to do about raising the debt ceiling and the debt limit by December the 15th. And of course, the Senate needs to take up the Build Back Better Act probably after Thanksgiving. But remember, once it hits the Senate, it's going to look very, very different from when it first passed in the House last week. When we come back from commercial, we're going to be going out to Florida, where we got a major development, piece of news today in the final autopsy of Brian Laundrie, his death now being ruled a suicide. We'll have more on that in just a moment.